Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video I wanted to talk about my wish list for the Nexus 7 or whatever they want to call it. But before I talk about my wish list, I want to talk about, the rumors concerning the next Nexus smartphone and how before they were saying Huawei was making it. I didn't know what to think of that as far as Huawei making it because I'm not going to say I've never, but I've seen Huawei make smartphones. They do have flagships, but they haven't, to me, proven themselves to make, that flagship that is, selling like hotcakes like Samsung or Apple. So, no one can sell like Samsung or Apple, but a flagship that can sell well in the States, because we all know that Huawei doesn't really have a market in the States. They have that overseas. But my thoughts on Huawei making it is that their phones do have very good battery life. I'll give that to them. But if I was to choose between LG and Huawei, I'm picking LG. It's just because I love LG, and I'm a Nexus 5 user. I love my Nexus 5. There are some things wrong with it. There are some drawbacks, but overall the phone, it's, I'll talk about that another time because we're not talking about that. But yeah, I would pick LG because I've had the LG Nexus 4 and I have the LG Nexus 5. So, for them to make a new smartphone, and time again, they deliver a very good smartphone, I'm going to want them to make it, I'm not going to want somebody to come along and just make a smartphone. Motorola, they made a pretty decent smartphone, but, I already talked about that in another video. I'll link that down below in the description about the reasons why I didn't jump to the Nexus 6. But my wish list, let's get to the wish list. My wish list for the next Nexus smartphone is better battery life, because the Nexus 6 obviously has better battery life than the Nexus 5. That's just not even a comparison because of the battery size. But the Nexus 6, considering that it had a 3,000 milliamp hour battery, it still didn't have, on par battery life. And when I say that, when I'm going to compare it to a Galaxy Note 4, it's no comparison, as far as screen on time. When I use the Galaxy Note 4, when I use my friend's Galaxy Note 4, I got at least 5 to 6 hours of on screen time. But when I use the Nexus 6 that my friend also has, I got about I just squeezed 4, but mostly 3, close to 4 hours of screen on time. So for it to have that big of a battery, and I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know why it has such low screen on time as far as battery life, because the software, it's not like Samsung. It's not it's not bloated or anything like that. Stock Android is a very minimalistic software, so it's mind-boggling to me. And if you heard a beeping sound, that's my tablet getting low on battery, so it's on battery saver mode. Nexus 7 tablet, yeah, Nexus 7 for life. But anyway, another thing I wanted to talk about is the screen. I wish Google keep it to a 1080p screen, because I know the market's going towards Quad HD, but 1080p for right now, keep it on smartphones. You still have excellent battery life, and especially with the processors getting better, the battery life is just going to be unbelievable. And I don't want to get into scientific stuff as far as the human eye can't see past 326 ppi or whatever. That's boring. But it's just right. Like I went to T-Mobile and I have a Nexus 5 1080p screen, and then I go over to the LG G3 and it has a Quad HD screen, but I cannot tell the difference at all. I go to the Nexus 6 from the Nexus 5. I cannot tell the difference at all. So, it's even though it has a Quad HD screen, it's not that big of a jump, though. I can't really tell. It looks to me, it just looks like a very, very, very good 1080p screen, and that's it. Now, if I was to talk about 3K or 4K, I don't know because I've never seen 3K or 4K on on a smartphone. But maybe that will be a big change. But as far as Quad HD and 1080p is not that big of a change. So if I was to, just go strictly for battery life, 1080p is the way to go. I have no problem with a 1080p phone. I don't understand why people are, pushing for Quad HD when you're sacrificing so much as far as battery life. And battery life for smartphones is the most important thing. We didn't have to worry about that in the 90s where we had these brick phones and stuff. The phones could last for like a month. I'm just kidding. It wouldn't last for a month. But, the phones can last for a very long time. Now, with everything being so technologically advanced, the battery life has suffered. But nowadays, a day or a day and a half for smartphone battery life is excellent. So, with you having a Quad HD screen, unless you have a Galaxy Note 4, probably a Droid Turbo, even though that's a Verizon exclusive, don't want to talk about that. You're not really going to get a day and a half battery life. It's very few smartphones that can do that. But another thing I wanted to talk about as far as my wish list is a fingerprint sensor. Now, people probably are going to say, oh, why do you need a fingerprint sensor when you could put in your, type in your password and stuff? For me, if I lose my phone, I at least have some sense of security. Like, hey, no one's going to go on my phone because no one can just go on your phone and just put in their finger and bam, it's going to open. No, it's going to open to your fingerprint. So, it's just way more secure than passwords. That's where all, the market is going with the Galaxy S6. I wish the HTC M1 M9 would have gone the same direction, but hey, the M9 Plus is going to have that supposedly. Not talk about that, it's in another video. But the iPhone, obviously, pioneers of touch, fingerprint sensors. With Touch ID, I would say that they are the pioneers because they are pretty. I wouldn't say the first, but they really pretty much refined it to a where it's just it's really good. But I wanted to know your thoughts on what you would want on the next Nexus smartphone. That's my wish list. Maybe you guys have something different as far as ideas. But, check out the video. If you guys have a chance, check out the video where I talk about the reasons why I didn't jump to the Nexus 6. Share the video, please subscribe, for better content. Please, leave in the comments section, if there's anything wrong with my videos, what can I do to improve? It would be greatly appreciated. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye.